Variation. Last one. Last variation problem. This one's joint variation. The simple interest for a certain savings account is... Ooh, before I even read the rest, I see an is. An is means equals. Is jointly proportional. What? I'm going to put a squiggly under that. That's our new stuff. What does that mean? Jointly proportional to the time and the principal. All right, so we got something happening right here to time and principal. Okay, the simple interest. Okay, that's the other thing. So we got our simple interest for a certain savings account is simple interest is jointly proportional time and principal. Okay. So what do these words mean? I know there's more to this problem. The rest of this problem tells us, it gives us some numbers so we can answer some questions. But let's figure out what just this is saying right now. So we got three things that are related to each other. And if they're related, we can write an equation. Okay, so here's the equation that we can write. Or one possible equation. See if x, y, and z are related by an equation. You can write it like this. You would only write it like this if it said something like this. Z varies jointly as x and y. See, z varies, there's the k, the constant proportionality, jointly as x and y. And this little n and this m are there because they could be squared or they could be to a different power, okay? They're not always just no power. Like our very first one. Or z is jointly proportional. So varies jointly or jointly proportional. They pretty much mean the same thing. They all mean there's going to be a constant k, constant of proportionality. Okay, so if it says jointly, that just means there's going to be two variables multiplying to your constant that is something else. Kind of like in this one. Simple interest is. And so this one would be your z. That would be your z. Is jointly proportional. So this is going to be our k. It's saying a k is multiplying to x, which is time, and p, which is our y, our principal, which is our y. So we got z equals k times xy. And I don't see any clues that says that time is squared or raised to the third power. Same with principal. This is what we got. Okay. I've already identified my variables. Z is simple interest, x is time, and y is principal. K is not a variable. That is a constant. We have to actually find the value of k to answer our questions. All right, so let's read the rest of the stuff. It says after one quarter, which is 3 months, the interest on a principal of 5,000 is this. Okay, so the interest, which is we identified as z, the interest is 43.75. The principal is, which we identified as y, is 5,000. Do we have an x? I mean, that's just a natural question. I'm hoping that you have. Like, what is the x? Because you see that we found a z, we found a y, and if we were trying to find a k, we would need an x also. But let's find out if we actually need that x. Let's read. Write an equation relating the interest, principal, and time. Our interest, we said, was z. Where's my marker? Oh, here's a marker. Z. Our principal, we said, was y, and our time, we said, was x. So we have an equation, an impossible equation right here, but it doesn't work if we don't have a number for the k. So we got to find the k. So if we know that y is 5,000, we can write 5,000 right there. And then, oh wait, y is not 5,000. Or wait, y is 5,000. Z is what I need to write first, the interest. So my interest is 43.75 equals k, that's what we don't know, x, which we haven't identified yet, and then we have y, which is 5,000. Okay, so now x is time, and so, oh, I totally missed that. It says 3 months right here. Now we can say that x is in units, in quarters, or we can say that x is in months. I'm looking at this I looked at this question right here. It says nothing that clues me in onto whether to use months or quarters. This next one says find the interest after 3 quarters. So that means I'm going to need to probably make X represent quarters. So X is not months. We're going to represent this as quarters. So that means X right now equals 1 because it says 1 quarter. Now, if I chose to make X into months, I would use 3 months. And we could still solve the problem that way, but let's keep it consistent. It'll keep our job more simpler. So I plug in 1 for the X. Now my job is to solve for K. 1 times 5,000 is just 5,000. 5,000 times K. To get the K alone, I'm going to have to divide by 5,000. So I'm going to go 43.75 divided by 5,000. And I don't want to have a decimal inside my fraction, so I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by, let's see, if I multiply the top by 100, that would move the decimal over twice, which is exactly what I want. So I have to multiply the bottom by 100. So I get 4,375 up top. And on the bottom, I have a 5 with a 1, 2, 3 zeros plus 2 more, because the decimal on the end is going to be moved over twice because we're multiplying by 100. So we have this equaling our K. Looks like we can simplify this. We can divide the top and bottom by 5. But honestly, I'm not going to right now because, well, actually it does. I should, because it asks for an equation and we should simplify that number if that's going to be part of our final answer. So if I divide the top and bottom by K, let's see what, or 5, let's see what I get. On the top I would get 875. On the bottom I would get 100,000. Looks like we can divide by 5 again. So we probably should have divided by a bigger number. Let's divide by 5 again. Oh man, we get 175 over 20,000, which we can yet again divide by 5 yet again. So we're going to get 35 up top, and then on the bottom we're going to get 4,000. Oh dang, I can divide by 5 again. I got to start trying to pick bigger numbers here to divide by. We get 800, and then for the top we would get 7, and I think we're good with that. So we got K equaling 7 over 800, which means our equation is going to look like this. Z equals 7 over 800 times X times Y, and that's our equation. That satisfies the first part of our problem. The second part says find the interest after 3 quarters. So we're looking for Z, so we're gonna take the Z out, and we're going to plug in 3 for the X, because it says 3 quarters, and our 5,000 for our principal. Multiply those together to get our Z, and that's going to be our answer. Our answer is $131.25, so in 25 cents. $131.25, that's our interest.